whenever I get a kid individually, I know exactly what I'm working on, what I'm working with them on, and what we're going to develop. And at the same time, we're going to have some fun with it, enjoy it, where we're building your confidence at the same time. I'm not going to drag you down with it. Like, I'm going to show you the right ways on how to perfect this thing, but we're going to work. There's a process to it.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Your Peak Life podcast. Your boy, DJ Juan Hand, Julian Fair. You already know this. All right.
Bro, how many more weeks we got of that?
Hopefully like 2-3 more, bro, but we'll see. my kid called me Venom at home. So,
oh, wow.
We got my man Mike Little, the broker from the bottom in the house. Edgar, the Sphere, Munoz. You know, he actually was in Vegas visiting his cousin. The big-ass Sphere had a big-ass happy face on it. It looked just like his ass. But it's not about the three of us today, all right? We got two very special guests in the house, okay? One is a basketball player, and the other one is not a comedian. I want to be very clear on that one, okay? And he probably gets this all the time, all right? And I've worked with him. We got my man Tommy Davidson in the house, software guru, tech, local, everything you would want to know about this. He's going to elaborate. I won't go too much on that. And then we have 16-year legend Joe Smith, NBA legend, Maury legend, Maryland Terrapin legend, first overall round pick in 1995 draft legend. He's in the house today. Fellas, thank you for being here.
Man, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, man. Looking forward to it.
Damn right. Ooh. That's what's up. So don't talk shit today. We're going to be serious today. All right?
Oh, no. You got shit. You got shots coming.
But see, like, this is why he gets what he gets. Like, he always started it. He'll tell you. A lot of times I don't say nothing. They just started. But
you know he's the biggest bully in the world, right?
Edgar likes to finish things.
Exactly. And continue it.
He kicks it off, and then you just finish it.
You just finished it. Right. Just close the deal.
But let me just ask a question. And I was talking to Mike about this earlier. So you were in another podcast. I was watching that. You talk about one of your first games, 95.
Right.
And your first, they throw up the ball and then you get punched or hit in the
elbow.
nose.
Yeah.
Woo. But the player that did that, it kind of starts putting things into perspective.
Olajuwon, yeah. Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's wild, man.
And that's just, and I mean, talk about a fruitful career. You got to put things into perspective. It's like 90s, 2000s. Mm-hmm. Like, you got all these different eras and great players you got to, like, play with,
right?
Go against, talk shit to.
Yeah, for sure.
You hear the stories, but, like, to actually have you sitting here, like, thank you. To hear from your mouth, and it's like, and you say in that moment, you were like, obviously you're new, it's your first game, and you were just like, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna take that from you.
That was my welcome to the NBA moment right there. That was my welcome to the NBA moment. First of all, it was ring night.
Yep.
It was Jordan had retired.
Houston,
the Rockets ring. Oh, I know the years. Yeah. Trust me.
There was no Jordan at the time, but it was the year after Houston had won the championship.
Yeah.
So my first game was against the Houston Rockets.
Wow.
And it's ring night, and they got the banner going up. The players are receiving their rings, and I'm just like a little kid out there,
right.
Like just watching this thing and watching all this stuff happen around me, fireworks in the arena, all types of stuff. So we go out for jump ball, and I'm jumping up against Hakeem. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm young, fresh legs,
I got this.
I get athletic, I can jump out of the gym a little bit, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go up here and win this tap real quick and let them know I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh man, the referee threw the ball up, and before I knew it, I had an elbow right in my nose. Right in my nose. He tapped the ball. But they going down court. I'm still trying to recover because the first thing that happens when you get hit in the nose, your eyes water.
Yep.
So I got both eyes watering. Both they run up and down the court. I'm trying to get myself together for about 5-6 minutes, the first 5-6 minutes of the game, man. And I said, okay, so this is what they do. This is what that's one of those veteran tricks, that they be getting away with. And I got hit with one early in my career, so. I never used it, but I had it in my bag just in case.
Right. Now, the thing is, if they did that nowadays,
right,
You toss or attack at least.
Oh yeah, anything above the neck, you getting tossed out.
Yeah, and everything's at 4K now.
Yeah,
Right?
That's very
Anything
true.
above the neck, you get tossed out. And you might get suspended for a couple of games. So.
That's true, and a fine.
And a fine, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're back in the area.
Yes.
You know, Maury grad, Terrapin, first All-American, first round pick. You came back to Norfolk. You came back to Hampton Roads.
Yes.
We were talking about this earlier. We segregate our cities: Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth. We're Hampton Roads. We're one
Exactly.
really big city, right?
Yes.
What brought you back home, man?
Man, I wanted to get back here, man, back to my roots, man. And I started the basketball academy, Joe Smith Basketball Academy. And I had started right after I retired. I retired with the Lakers until 2012. And I started the academy a couple of years after that, trying to figure out my next phase in life. Started my my basketball academy. Had a couple camps out in California, took it down to Georgia, moved down to Georgia, took it down to Georgia. But it just wasn't sitting right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just wasn't sitting right. Things wasn't feeling right. So I wanted to get it back to my roots, to the place that raised me, to the people that I grew up with, you know, that have kids now and have kids coming up playing, loving the game of basketball. So I wanted to get back here and be able to show them something different. I know on a daily basis, I grew up in this area, so I know what they see on a daily basis.
Yep.
And I hear about it, even though I may not have been living here at the time. I hear all the stories about what they see, what's going on here on a daily basis. So I wanted to be able to get myself, someone that came up here, someone that made it out of here, someone that's a positive influence and something that they can see and touch, someone that they can see and touch and be able to relate to, talk to, that made it. You know, that set a goal and set a dream for himself as a kid and that made it. And for me to be able to come back home and do that, you know, it's just like heartwarming for me, man. Just to be able to come back home and be able to do that back here in the communities that helped raise me and show me how to be a man and show me what directions to go into, the rights and wrongs, and kind of protected me throughout my childhood so that I could become the person I became.
You know, one cool thing is that to your left, on my right, you have somebody that you not just call a partner, but a friend with
question.
Tommy Davidson that came in and really probably came in at a probably more important part of your life that you even give credit for, at least then. Now you look back, it's like, you know what? You came in at the right time. And
Exactly.
and Tommy, you've helped grow this camp into more, not even just the camp, but the overall brand of Joe Smith and what you guys are doing. So just tell us a little bit about how where the evolution is going and what we're going into in 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate it. No, one of the things for us, or for me personally, like you said, he's my friend first.
Yeah.
So before business, before anything else, his mom used to get on me.
Oh, y'all go back.
Yeah, we go back there.
Yeah,
No,
we go
when the first time, he's been a friend of my family since he was a junior in high school.
Oh,
so
word.
the first time
Okay.
I met him was the summer leading into his junior year in high school.
Gotcha.
Was when I first met him. So yeah,
You dunked on him?
No,
Okay.
no. Still, and this is almost 40 years later, and I'm still trying. So yeah, persistence, people, persistence. No, but it started then. His mom, I would say this, she would get on me all the time because at the time I was still living in the area, and she would say, "Tommy, why I see you every time I see him?" Mm-hmm. And he was off playing. So, why every time I see you, I see him? I should see you in between times I see him. Yes, ma'am. So that developed me stopping by the house and checking in and checking on them and stuff like that. So that's where the foundation started, to your point, where we are now. It's funny how God works. I will say that because we 2 years ago, we lost a friend of ours, real close with us, and he hung out with us in our 20s and stuff like that. But you know, as men, we sporadically checked on each other, as men do. Man, you good? Those sporadic text messages. We did that. Never had a conversation that we all need, if that makes sense. So after that, you know, the service, funeral, and everything, we just the salutation, how you been conversation started as a 15-minute conversation. I think it lasted almost like 4 hours, something later. Yeah. And from there, we really had a conversation on where we are, where we going, what we wanted, and how we were going to get there. And we realized we had a lot of synergy, even though we hadn't really been hanging out like that in a long time. I had just started my technology company in the area in Hampton Roads, bringing local, bringing and doing it on purpose, bringing it back here on purpose to help out, the community and people that, I grew up with and I saw, and be able to bring opportunities to the area that we didn't have and I didn't see. He wanted to do the same thing. He wanted his basketball camp at the time to be more than just a camp. Like, what else can we Tom, what else can we offer? Well, he didn't know that I have a full, training curriculum. So it's like, well, damn, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to offer technology because that's the future. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing. Let's do it. And that's really how it started. Just that simple. And from there, we've been head down. I'm a behind the scenes type of guy, so I've been in technology for 31 years. So you don't get into that career looking for pop and circumstance. So, so yeah, I'm a behind the scenes type of guy. So I'm a head down person, and that's one of the things that he jokes about with me when we were younger that he always remembered. Like, no matter, every time we went out to the club, went out for drinks. Oh, yeah, Tom got to go to work tomorrow morning. Yeah, Tom gonna raise it. I got to get up and go to work in the morning. I was that guy. So, always been a head down type of person. I wanted to see him win, knowing where he came from, just as a friend. I'm the type of person, I like seeing folks win. That's my adrenaline rush. So seeing him just win, and what can I do to help bridge that? Right. That's just basically how I looked at it, and from there, not looking for what I can get out of it, but how can I help? And we joke about this because I kept trying to send him, hey man, I could do this and do this and do this, and you'll be good. You can go ahead and run with it. Nah, bro. Want us to kind of be partners on this. Right. And it's like, okay, man, so you can do this and do this, and you can just take it and run with it. Nah, bro. It's kind of I was thinking about us being partners with it. And he kept hitting that home, and I took it and ran with it. And from this point forward, is really just, looking at a few things. One is really growing the academy in the Hampton Roads area. We could have stayed on the fringes, and I say this a lot. We could have stayed on the fringes because we've been out the area for a while. So yeah, we could have stayed on the fringes and things like that, and done pretty okay. That's not helping the community. Right. Very rarely does that bleed into the community when you stay on the fringes. So we dove in head first into the community. He moved back, in Norfolk, planted his feet. I had just moved back in the area about a year prior to him coming back. So that's where it started. And from there, it's like, all right, let's work from the inside out. And that's where that's what we wanted to do. So let's have those conversations with the councilmen and with our local politicians. Let's go talk to the local civic leaders. Let's go talk to, find out how we can get into or improve the programs at our local rec centers. Let's start with the low-hanging fruit. It's right here in front of us, and it's in the communities that we know that need it. And that's where we started. So yeah, it's hard work. It is. I'll be lying to say it's not, but it's for a purpose. It's purposeful work. So that keeps us going. That keeps me getting up every morning. That keeps us sane because we know we're doing it for a purpose, because there are times when the negativity draws in and stuff like that. So for me is, building the camp, one, growing it within the Hampton Roads community, as we always talk about, and letting it, blossom out from there, letting it know that it's been homegrown here. And then secondly, from a overall and national perspective, just turning the page on the new Joe Smith brand, showing, what he's doing in the community. Not only that, we have a few projects that we're working on as well. So this is going to be a really interesting and fun year for us. We're looking forward to it. We've made some great partnerships that we want to bridge into the community. I tell folks that we work with here locally is our partners are your partners. Mm-hmm. Our relationships are your relationships. That's the only way we can grow this thing. And that's really, it sounds simple, but a lot of it is really in the trenches, heads down, hard work. That's really a lot of it. Yeah, it's conversations. It's up late. And then again, I have a technology business that I'm running as well. Right. So, this morning was getting up at 4:00 and doing, we're about to release a software, doing software tests and running a QA program and making sure that my QA program is running while I'm in here talking to you guys. So it's a lot of moving pieces, but God delivered it to me. So that means that it's going to work. You know what I mean? You know, I do all, you know, you do all things through Christ who strengthened me. So that's the model that I live by. I get up every day and really just kind of work towards it.
You know, it's funny. You said we opened with my injury. I spoke to you 3 days after this happened to me.
Okay.
And our little 5-minute conversation turned into an hour.
Right.
Exactly. That's what happens.
Is this a theme with you?
Right.
Is
So,
it
it
so
is.
we start talking, it's going to be hours.
It's all because it's all positive stuff
Right.
to move the wheel, right? Like first off, we were connected. We had to call. We had to see, and we could have kept going.
We
to be
could have
fair.
kept going.
There was,
Really, yeah.
And I had a 4-hour drive ahead of me, so I was good. Just to be clear, this is when I was going to peak performance.
You were headed to PA.
Exactly. This is when I was going to Pennsylvania. So I'm like, all right, but the whole goal is like, no, we're going to meet. This is going to make sense because delivering back to the community in any industry is really the focus of that, right? I mean, obviously you can grow a company and scale it to whatever. You can become the biggest brand in the world, but if you forget where you come from, or you don't give back to where you come from, or fast forward 10, 20 years, it's not as popping as it once was.
Right,
now you're
right.
back in the trenches, back home. What are you going to do? What
Right.
value are you going to provide? Because in the community is, what have you done for me lately? You can leave the legacies, don't get me wrong, but it's evolving. You're seeing these kids now. They're not the same when we were growing
No.
up. We're seeing the environments that they're in, the access that they have that we didn't have growing up. So now you guys are providing some different access when some other athletes, they've ran it, it's not here anymore, or whatever the case may be. And there's no shade, there's ebbs and flows of this.
Right.
I personally feel that you guys are in the market and can make a stamp in a void that needs to get filled. And your first camp is coming up on when?
Your first camp, July 7th through 11th.
Okay, where's it at?
It's at Virginia Beach Sports Center.
Okay.
And it's for ages 8 through 12.
Gotcha.
First session.
Okay.
Then the second session is July 21st through 25th, and that's for ages in the same place, Virginia Beach Sports Center, and that's for ages 13 through 18.
And just drop this number
And
for
it's
me
boys
real
and
quick.
girls. I never, like, a lot of people,
Yeah,
when you
we
mention
always-
Co-ed,
right.
okay.
when you mention camps, a lot of people automatically just think boys, and you get a lot of boys, but it's boys and girls.
Boys
Perfect.
and girls.
I will say this. And the website again?
JoeSmithBasketballAcademy.com.
So the thing that's going to blow your mind the most is when you go to sign this up, you're going to see a price that you can be like, this for one day? No, it's for the whole week.
Entire
What's the
week.
price for the whole week?
$99.
5 days, $99.
$99.
So everybody in life always talks about cost.
Yep.
I prefer to talk about value.
Yes.
So the cost is $99. And a lot of people think the value is some basketball moves.
Right.
But I believe that's not the value.
No.
Right?
No.
So I would like for the two of you gentlemen to discuss the actual value, like why I signed up and I'm sending my son.
Yep.
Right.
So
Awesome. We
he can
appreciate
learn
that.
from
Thank you.
a professional who has proof of concept of doing this at a high level day in and day out for a very long time.
Right.
Versus some fly by night. You know, like if I'm going to pay for my son to go get values instilled in him for this game that he loves, it's going to come from somebody that I know actually did it.
Right.
Yep.
So that's why I chose to sign him up and switch, from where we were going to send him, right? So, but I want to know, as a father, as a man who basketball actually saved my life.
Right.
I didn't play in the league, but that's what kept me out of jail. That's what kept me from getting in trouble. That's
exactly.
what
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
what are these young men and women going to receive from you over the course of these 4 days for that ridiculously low price of $99? That isn't just basketball, but it's life enhancing.
I mean, not to discredit any of the trainers out there.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
I played, like you said, I played 12 different teams. I've been around the league, and I've seen film guys become head coaches. So I don't want to discredit them because they put the work in as well. But
Yeah.
but my experience and the knowledge that I've gained throughout my career, playing for 12 different teams, playing for multiple different coaches, multiple organizations, learning different systems throughout my career, and just being around the game as long as I have. I mean, that's just that's almost like if you're in school, that's almost like the double masters, double masters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have that type of knowledge and wisdom to share with these kids.
For sure.
And not only that, but I mean, I think it has a little more power when it comes from someone that actually made it to that level, or actually did it.
Absolutely.
Did it to the level that a lot of these kids want to reach.
Yeah.
It has a lot more power when it comes from someone like that. And my thing is, man, I just want to see the kids get better and win, man. And I want to see. I'm going to give them the best. I'm going to give them all the energy I have. I'm going to give them the best knowledge that I have. I'm going to show them the right ways to do things. I'm going to show them the discipline that comes with it, with getting better. Year in and year out.
Yeah.
The work ethic that you have to put into it.
You mentioned something earlier in training too about confidence.
Yeah.
It's instilling confidence in these
Yes.
individuals,
Yeah.
these young men and women that are going to come see you. Could you maybe describe? Not, we don't give all the tricks away.
No,
But like, if you just see, we'll use my son for example. Sure,
Right.
why not? He's 12 years old. He told me I want to go to the NBA. I said, do you know what that takes?
Right.
And then he spent some time this last season. Spent more time on the bench than he was used to.
Gotcha.
He's been playing for a few years. He's typically a starter.
Mm-hmm.
He found himself on the bench a couple times, and it was like, that was a hit for him.
Right.
And I went over to the bench on the last game of the season, and he was upset. And I said, you know how you fix that? And right in front of the coaches, because I'm like this.
Right.
So you become the best player on the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit on a bench. You got to get better.
You got to get better.
That's it.
And how does Joe talk to this kid? Like, because for me, he said, "Oh, you should have brought your son today." I said, "No, I'd rather my son meet Coach Joe,
Right.
not in this setting. I want him to walk in and be like, oh, that's the guy from the highlights. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's going to listen,
That's true.
right?
Exactly.
So
Introduction.
what does Joe tell a kid who is having that imposter syndrome, that doubt? Like, can I do this?
I'll probably work with him just to see what it is that he's questioning and how can I help him get better. And that's what it's all about right there. I mean, just they want to, at that point, they want to figure out what they have to do to get better. And my thing is, once I see where you may be struggling at, what I see you may be having trouble with, I'm going to help you develop that so you can build that confidence.
So you get them to improve that certain piece, and once they do that,
Exactly.
mentally they're like, "Oh, what's next? I can do this."
Exactly, and then they want to keep improving, keep doing things, and to develop their skills. But their confidence is growing at the same
Right.
time
From those small wins.
From those small
Yeah,
wins,
absolutely.
exactly. From those small wins, and whether it's shooting, whether it's ball handling, whether they turn the ball over a lot, or whatever it may be.
So you're going to identify their the biggest hole in their game.
I've been around the
and
game
you try to
long
help them
enough where
fill
I can
that.
watch a kid for 5 minutes and see where they
Nice.
Yeah.
where where they're struggling.
That makes sense.
And
Okay.
so I can like I said, I do individual training as well. So whenever I get a kid individually, I know exactly what I'm working on, what I'm working with them on, and what we're going to develop. And at the same time, we're going to have some fun with it, enjoy it, where we're building your confidence at the same time. I'm not going to drag you down with it. Like, I'm going to show you the right ways on how to perfect this thing, but we're going to work. There's a process to it, and you got to understand.
When, kind of piggybacking on what you're saying, so when you're working with these children one-on-one, right, you can, in the first few minutes, in the first few sessions, in the first few weeks or months, you've identified what their holes are in the game based on the confidence on the court.
Exactly.
During that time, do you identify any of those holes off the court where they can look at Coach Joe as not just a coach on the court, but in life?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Okay.
I do that as well. I mean, even in my camps when there's a lot of kids.
We've had
you
a few
see-
episodes.
you-
Yeah, we've had a
you
few
can see when a
episodes.
kid is going through something out there.
Gotcha.
Like they may not feel like they're doing a drill correctly. So, that's when I step in. I pull them to
They
the
get
side.
frustrated.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get frustrated.
yeah,
I pull them to the side, and I may have a discussion with them. Try to find out what's going on with them. If it's something other than basketball. Or
Do you
if it's
find
just-
that that's usually the case, though? Like, typically they're dealing with something that actually has nothing to do
It's
with
a
the game?
mixture.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mixture. It's a
seen
mixture
both.
of both. It's a
Yeah.
mix. Sometimes it's the frustration with just trying to figure out the drill that we're doing, and sometimes it's
Something happened prior to
something,
them coming.
something
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
prior, or maybe sometimes the parent on the side may be influencing some of it.
But
So
can we talk about that? Sure. No, because as a basketball dad and a guy that plays basketball pretty well, by the way,
He got a good
Just
shot.
saying.
I will say
I
that.
believe
if you are allowing your child to play on a team, can we just tell these people that on the sidelines they're not supposed to coach? That's like you have a coach, like the parents at these games, man. It's insane. Like you're only hurting the performance of your child, in my opinion.
No.
So could either of you speak to that?
One good thing about us is, first off, and just taking a step back and just looking at the academy, we're strictly a how-to fundamental academy, strictly. So, as far as AAU is concerned, in that circuit, we are not.
Yeah.
We are not that on purpose.
It's a different ball game.
Yeah, different ball game, but we're not that on purpose for a couple of reasons. First off, it's a whole bunch of them out there, so it's enough of it. Second of all, I, as the non-NBA player in the crew, I actually took a step back and just started listening to conversations. And what I mean by that is, I've it's been a blessing being around this, knowing this guy for a number of years, and just here lately within the past year or 2 years, us traveling around. I've had a chance to meet everybody from the KDs of the world, reconnecting with Kevin Garnett's AIs, people that work with them, things like that as well. One of the recurring things that we hear and I've heard is fundamentals are missing.
Yeah.
From coaches, from the college coaches and stuff like that. Fundamentals, entry passes, screens, backdoor screens.
They all just want to shoot.
They just
40
want to
footers,
shoot.
man.
People want to dribble the air out of the basketball. No more two dribble pull-ups anymore.
Right.
Things like that. So you start hearing that, and you start hearing it from guys who are doing it, and guys who are in the league, and guys who had great careers in the league that's retired. You start hearing, man, this, that, you start hearing the complaints about the game or the kids. So just taking that little nugget and just taking that and expanding it from there. We need to be able to have first of all, a safe space. So what I mean by safe space is, in a lot of these circuits, they want the most talented kid, or they want to recruit this kid that used to play for this team over here that scored 20 points. Nah, safe space.
Yeah.
If you want to learn the game of basketball and want to just play, come over here.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Come play. Come learn to play. Again, we're dealing with the whole circuit of children that don't know how to play. They're talented and they're athletic, but they do not know the intricacies of the game of basketball, and to be able to teach that. That's where the overseas and Europeans kick our butts all the time.
Right.
They're teaching that at 12, 13. We're not. And that's his thing. A lot of other guys that I've talked to that we've been around is that safe space to play. Be able to, you can come over here and fail.
Yeah.
You can come over here, miss 5 shots in a row, and we'll work on you on the 6.
Yep.
Work on it.
We'll work on it. And that's, for us, our foundation is really just that. It's that safe space to not turn kids away, not be proud of that. I don't know where that came from, where you're proud that this kid didn't make it into your camp.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what happens to that kid that doesn't make your camp? That's the next question that people don't ask. We're sitting around here clapping that, we got X amount of kids and this, that, and the other, and we turned 400 kids away.
Right.
Cool. What happened to those 400 kids? Where'd they go? Did they go back to terrorizing neighborhoods? Did they go back to stealing cars? Did 100 of them go hurt themselves?
Right.
What happened to those 400 kids?
Right.
That question doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And for us, we wanted, again, that safe space for those kids to come and play basketball. Like we had the conversation out earlier.
Yeah.
Just he can come. Just come on.
Right.
Just come on, man. I've heard different stories on, and I'm for as anal and as folks can make me out to be, I have the super soft spot. So let's help everybody.
Right.
We can help them all. Let's try to get them in here and help them all. So that's the difference between the Joe Smith Academy and I think a lot of the other sports entities that are out there. And then to me, the bottom line and the selling point is not putting anybody else down, but are any of them 12 teams,
Say it.
12 teams, 16-year career in?
No. I mean, you can do a mic drop.
And I always ask that. It's like, it's a lot of guys
out
out there. There's a lot of good programs out there. All of those programs are building and hoping and wanting to do what he's done.
Correct.
Period. To your point, mic drop.
What he's lived, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's what all of that is for.
Yep.
Is to be able to make another one of these. All right, cool. Why not learn from the one who did it?
Yeah.
Not learning for the one who knew somebody that did it. Not learn from the one who playing around and wanted to do it and went overseas and
But I think early on already, there's a bigger game behind the game, right? Obviously, the marketing, those people trying to, they're trying to also get into your pockets, right?
Right.
A certain percentage to manage you, things like that.
Right.
I think they'll be picking up those nuggets on the way once they start getting to those levels because college is different now, right?
Yep.
All the marketing, all the sales,
NIL deals,
NIL
crazy, man.
So it's like they need to start getting it. If they're serious, right, they need to start learning.
They need the education now, absolutely.
I could already see this, and I know you've probably thought of this 1,000 times. Like all the OGs do, like after they've made their bread, they've made their stamp, they're looking back, right?
Right.
If you were to start all over today, knowing the access that all these kids have, not just to making money, but to getting the marketing, to getting the exposure, to getting in front of people, what would you do different? Joe Smith, you are...
it's 1994 and there's Instagram.
Bro, right,
Dude.
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Not Instagram.
Yeah.
There's these. There's these.
Right.
I'm sure there's some stories we can't talk about, all right?
I'm gonna pull a Derek Jeter rule on that one. I am so glad that social media wasn't around.
That was the and one, right? They kind of
That came out.
that was pre all of that,
Yeah.
but that was something that the kids are doing now,
Right,
right?
right. Like the professor is still very relevant.
Like that changed the game a little bit. That changed the NBA game a lot too, and that changed the way, because that's what the kids saw,
Right.
So they all wanted to throw the no look passes and do all the all the and one type moves. So that changed the game a little bit, but you still have to have that groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You still have to have that groundwork.
You said it in there. Tim Duncan was like
the
one of
big
the guys,
fundamental.
Exactly.
but he was so fundamental.
Exactly. So fundamental. I mean, I was fundamental.
Yeah.
Everything I did was fundamental. So, you have to have that groundwork. And going back to what he was talking about, like AAU, nowadays, they're not trying to develop these kids with that. They really want to put the best group of kids that they can find on one team and just kind of throw them out there that don't play. But we want to see these kids develop the right way, set that ground, that foundation, for these kids to go off of. Because if you just try to jump them out there, throw them out there, they won't have that foundation to fall back on and understand what it was that got them over the hump the first time, or what got them to learn this other move from what I created off the foundation.
Yep.
Like you can't have a counter move. You don't have a original move from the beginning.
Right.
So we want to be able to create that foundation, and then you can start creating all these different counters and counter moves and different things like that as you go.
Yeah.
Who were like in no particular order, who were your like top 3 players that you were trying to emulate like growing up?
Growing up, I was a huge Magic Johnson fan.
Okay.
Just loved the big point guard.
Yep.
I just loved that he was 6'9", he was playing the point guard. Lakers fan, obviously, but I just loved his game.
He's a West Coast cat. So.
Hardcore.
Another one was Walt Williams.
Okay.
At Maryland. Similar situation though. I mean, he was another big guard. He ended up getting drafted by Sacramento, playing a few years in the NBA. And before I signed with Maryland, he was like my favorite player. That's part of the reason why I ended up signing with Maryland, watching him do work in the ACC back then. So people slept on his game, but at one point, man, in the ACC, I think he went for like 40 plus in like 8-9 straight games or something like that. So he was
back then too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Smooth, can shoot.
Yeah,
man.
Fluid. A third one that was probably. I don't even know if I have a third one.
All good.
That's a real answer though.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your top 2. You got a collegiate player, and then you had that NBA big point guard. But circling back to something you were saying about fundamentals, and I want y'all to use this if you want. This isn't trademarked or whatever. My mentor used to tell me, if you're brilliant at the basics, you'll never lose.
Never lose. Yeah.
And the thing is, people just don't forget the basics. They want to go straight to being advanced.
They want to jump steps.
And that's not even just in basketball, bro. That's just every industry. Imagine somebody trying to code and learning C++ and didn't even know how to do email. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to your point, I'll share this secret. I will share this nugget of not always having to have it all figured out, but the wherewithal to go get it. I was running a technology company. I have 31 years of technology experience. I don't know nothing about representing and partnering with an athlete before.
Right.
I just had a friend.
Right.
Joe was adamant though.
Cat was adamant about it for one reason, but on top of that, it's like, okay, for me, all right, what do I need to do to prepare myself to be better prepared so I can, I know what I know from a technology standpoint, but I can be an asset
Right.
to my friend. So yeah, I'm in school, like right now. So you have two businesses running parallel while I'm in school right now, and you know, taking online classes at NYU right now to learn these things that I don't know. So it never stops. You know what I mean? You have to go out here and get it. Nobody's going to give it to you. There's no shortcuts. So yeah, so like he'll laugh. I said, man, I'm not doing nothing today. I got homework, man, and he'll fall out laughing. I said, but I said, no, this is my schedule for today. I'm not leaving the house. I have to do X, Y, Z, and he'll laugh. But it's those things, is that discipline of what you're doing when folks aren't looking. How are you making yourself better? How are you not skipping steps? You know, I watch him coach 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and teaching them the exact same thing. How am I at 52 going to try to skip steps in order to be successful? And that's not what we're bridging to the kids in our circles. Yeah. So be that, you know, it sounds corny, but be that change and be that example you want to see.
I don't think it's corny at all, man.
That's that. My mom and my dad and my grandmother beat that over my head.
Yeah.
Before you can ask anybody else to do it, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? What are you doing? My mom's a school teacher for 60 years, so you can imagine. Right there, you can imagine what I. Right there, you go.
Politely persistent.
Yeah, right. There you go. So
let's talk about that discipline. Though.
Sure.
So I think that a lot of people, including myself, like I just watched the NBA Finals. Right. Nobody sees what y'all go through during the week,
right?
Before the game, after the game. Is it playoff season?
Right.
Like, talk to us about a standard day in the league or week. Like, what's the expectation of a professional athlete? Everybody thinks that, you know, y'all just get paid and you just play a game, but I know, just because I'm a student of the game, that there's public relations and there's press conferences and there's warm up and there's cool down and there's you got to visit with the doctors and you got, you know, like this is a business as well. So you all are playing for people that are trying to protect their investments and you have expectations. What's that look like?
I mean, that's why I get upset when I hear people say on game days that guys take their games off. I hate when I hear that because they don't understand that behind the scenes, man, we're busting our butt to try to make sure we're ready for those games.
Every day.
And for every game. For every game. As long as you're healthy, you're back there. If you're injured or something like that, you're back there getting treatment or whatever.
Yeah.
As long as you're healthy, man, you're in the weight room. Like you said, you're doing press conference. You're maintaining your body. You're in ice tubs. You're always constantly trying to make sure that your body and your mind is ready for each game. And those behind the scenes, and that's even on game days leading up to the game. You know, you still prepping yourself, prepping your body, prepping your mind.
Do you have like a standard ritual, like if
scouting reports,
like
everything.
it's game day, Joe wakes up, he knows he's got a menace on the other side. What's that morning look like before you get to the arena?
Pretty much, I've already studied him. So we'll get shooter. We'll have shoot around that morning. If it's a 7 o'clock game, we have shoot around maybe 9 or 10 o'clock that morning. Go to the arena, we get the blood flowing a little bit, get some shots up, go through a walkthrough of how we're going to defend the other team, how we're going to play the other team, what sets we think might work against this team, what sets we're going to shuffle aside for the night, stuff like that, just the whole game plan. After that, you go back, get some lunch, maybe take a little nap or something, try to refresh his body a little bit. Get up after your nap, grab another bite to eat. Hop on the bus and we off to the gym, and that's when we start preparing ourselves. That's maybe 3 or 4 hours before the game.
So game day isn't just the game that we watch on TV.
No.
It's the whole day.
Yeah.
It's the whole day. And that's just game day.
Yeah. That's
you also had practice all week. Yeah. You also had
travel.
Yeah.
If you have deals and sponsorships or commercials, like so
other commitments, the
point I'm trying to get across is like there's a reason that they get paid what they get paid.
Right.
There's a reason that you all watch them because they're the best athletes in the world. and that takes commitment. That's a level of
takes
discipline that average humans just don't understand.
And I've seen not even just the average human, but I've seen other athletes, other professional players that couldn't stick around. Like you say, what we talked about out there, expectancy is 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That couldn't stick around because they didn't have that discipline.
Yeah.
They couldn't get themselves motivated year in and year out to prepare themselves for the grind of an 82-game season.
Yeah.
You know, and the travel that comes with it and things like that. They didn't have the mindset that allowed them to push through certain things, you know, and overcome certain things. And that's something that, you know, you really have to be strong-minded in order to year in and year out be prepared for an NBA season.
Yeah.
People don't understand that.
And you make a valid point. You've said this before, is what kept you going 16 years? You know, average NBA career is less than 5 years, and you 3x that, a little bit more. You're living your dream.
Exactly.
That was a goal. That was a peak.
That was a great answer, though.
That you specifically
that was a great
said
answer.
that you wanted to continue to achieve.
Exactly.
And like you said, sometimes you got traded, sometimes you were released and then signed on by a free agent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So did it discourage you? Of course it did in certain ways, but you got right back up.
Yeah. Yep.
It was the consistency and persistence of keeping it going. And then that last year, that 16 season, did you know that was it? Did you you know what? I think I'm good. Or you you know what? Or did you want to keep going? Like, I got this. Or
No, I actually did. I wanted to go 1 or 2 more.
Okay.
I wanted to go 1 or 2 more. But that last year we had a lockout. We went into a lockout.
That's what it was.
We
Yeah.
went into the lockout, and that was actually my second lockout. We went to one years before in the 90s.
I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was my second lockout. And usually I saw it in the first lockout, and I experienced it in the second lockout. But when we get back to when everything is signed, everything, you know, the season is about to start, free agency happens so quick. I was a free agent at the time.
Right.
Free agency happens so quick that most of the time it's the younger guys that get signed right away.
Right.
So I was older guy at that time, so I kind of got pushed out the door a little bit at that time. But yeah, I would have loved to go 1 or 2 more years, man. I thought I still had a little more in the tank. I was playing I was finished off with the Lakers, and one day in practice, me and Ron Artest, we going at it. And, you know, I'm going off killing. He's like, man, how old you say you was again? So, you know, I mean, I still had something in the tank, man. So I felt I could have won another year or 2, but the lockout kind of closed that out for me.
See, but you played with some goats. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, you
No,
played
that list that you
with
had out there
and
was
against. Like, can you just go down like 5 of those names, like top 5 all time? We want our listeners to understand who they're talking to right now,
and who they're taking their kids to get trained by.
and most importantly, who they're going to see July 7th and in the later part of July in both camps. Like, just to put this out there, take the stage, sir.
I played it with Allen Iverson in Philly.
Okay.
Played with Kevin Garnett in Minnesota.
Okay.
Played with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma.
Wow.
I played with Carmelo Anthony in Denver.
Wow.
I played with Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. I played with LeBron James with the Cavs. And
Westbrook.
There's so many more. It's like hard to go through.
Couple other MVPs you're missing out. Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on that squad with Oklahoma City as
James
well.
Harden was on that squad.
No, Harden wasn't on that team.
He went on that team?
No, he
Okay,
wasn't
he
on
had
that
just
team.
left. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But it was, I played with,
Yeah, he was
Westbrook
Russ was on that squad.
as well,
Yeah.
That was young Westbrook too. Like,
It was his rookie year. KD's second year and Russell's rookie year.
Selfishly, I'm going to ask this because I'm from Ohio. Brown was Mr. Ohio basketball when I was in high school.
Right.
He's obviously still playing now, going into season
Amazing.
23. Is it, if I'm not
I lost
mistaken?
count.
Yeah. So, you know, we joked about the GOAT debate earlier. That's not what I'm asking here. What I'm asking is from somebody that played 16 seasons, watching somebody play for 23,
Right.
that the whole world seems to hate for whatever reason.
I don't get it either.
You played with this man.
Yes.
How do you keep that mind frame when the whole world's hating on you? When you, what years were you in Cleveland? Before or after the Miami Heat situation?
I was there before.
Okay. So the grassroots, like his early career where he was carrying teams
I
on
was
his
there.
back.
Yeah, I think we made it to the Eastern Conference. We lost to Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Gotcha.
One year when I was there.
Gotcha. So what is that like? Watching someone similar to yourself who comes up in a very tough environment. He has a single mother, Northeast Ohio, puts a city on his back. You have the pleasure of playing alongside this guy. He's still doing it today. What's that experience like for you? Like you just sat here and said, I played with Russ, I played with KD, I played with Carmelo Anthony, I played with Bron, and it's just like these are the guys like hanging on my son's wall. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you were at the pro level, but you played with people that were at the peak of that, right? So what are those people like? You know, you got to spend time with these people, practice with these people.
I would say like the debate obviously that we have sometimes, it's like the leadership in Kobe or LeBron, right? All the pressures on them.
Right.
They are the face of the team.
Right.
Yeah, how does somebody do that?
It's still a different attitude and I guess level of, I don't know,
insanity maybe?
Because for me,
level of intensity that you approach,
right.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything, not just the game that night. Your workouts, your training, your
nutrition, your everything.
Like you just approach everything with that type of intensity, man. And
that level of discipline.
I've seen it in all of them. All the guys that I played along, all those guys at that level that I played alongside of. I saw it in all of them, man. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
Because, you think you working hard. You think you putting in the work. You're like,
right.
I just bust my butt. And then all of a sudden you see what type of lele that they take it to. And you're like, God, maybe I needed to step it up a little bit more.
And you also play with KG in his prime. One will argue, right? You said it out there. I got chills. I'm like, all I can think is anything's possible. You know what I mean? Like you practiced with that guy. You played alongside that guy. Yeah. So I'm
like
just
5 years, right?
Like 4.5.
I'm just trying to quantify like the level of time, effort, energy, and discipline that you gave to the game, and paint a picture of the people that were around you while you were doing it.
One thing about all those guys, man, it was no days off.
Yeah.
Like it was, we come off back-to-backs and have to go and practice. A lot of times, guys of that stature, they'll sit out that practice. Not wanting to do much at practice. But those guys, they was all in, no matter what, man. And no matter how many games a week we might have, how many games that week we might
back
have
in the
played,
gym.
they're not going to take those days off, man. And that's why it was a joy for me to play with them because I had that same mentality. But it was a joy for me to play alongside those guys because I get to see it firsthand what it takes to be at that level.
Yeah. So I have a question with that. What's because we see like the sneaky clips of like say the dream team when they had to practice and they went at each other like.
Right.
What's the difference between you and those caliber of people in a private setting and like a televised, there's a crowd game, I'm thinking like a high level park situation. Like, are you guys in practice talking shit to each other, going at each other?
I say more trash talk.
Practice is worse than the game.
Yeah, more trash.
That's what I'm looking for.
Practice is worse than the game.
That's what I'm looking for right there.
Practice is actually harder than the games. We really go at each other. And,
wow.
Especially to bring up KG, I mean, when I was in Minnesota, we started together, but in practice we were on opposite teams, just to push each other. We knew that we could push each other, we could make each other better. But coach would never let us play on the same team in practice. We always played opposite each other. He would guard me, I would guard him. But it was to create that competitive nature, and and we went at it.
Yeah.
We went at it, you know what I'm saying? And both teams, he'd get mad when he lose and start throwing and slamming stuff in the gym. And, same thing on our end. When we lose, we got mad. It was worse than the game. We went at each other harder than the game. No fouls, no nothing. We just going at it.
Yeah.
That was the Sam Cassell days, too?
No, before Sam.
Was that Wally?
Actually, I got traded for Sam.
Got you.
I went to Milwaukee. Sam went to.
Damn, Julian.
No, he didn't.
And then you also had Wally Zerbiak too?
Yeah, Wally was on our team.
Wally
was on our team. Yeah, Wally was on our team.
Yeah.
Terrell Brandon was our point guard. Went from Steph Marbury.
Marbury.
You played with Marbury too?
Yeah. Chauncey.
Chauncey.
Yes.
Chauncey buckets? I can't do this anymore.
But even like when you said Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah. Like
You know what they probably enjoy? ACC weekend.
Oh, they would love that.
Yeah, y'all would love that.
That shit is incredible, man.
Growing up, I was a trouble teen. So
Disclaimer.
I got tickets. They took us to
Weren't we
the
all?
Western Forum, right? And I didn't even know. I mean, I knew basketball, but it was like at the time, Jordan, Magic playing against each other. I got to see that game at the Western Forum.
At the Forum, yeah.
But in that time, I didn't know how big that was. Until later, it's like I actually got to see them. Whereas you think about how many people never got to see Jordan play against Magic.
Facts.
Yeah, that was huge. But I'm gonna tell you, like just the form itself, I never realized how big that was. What I played my first year, we played in the form.
Yep.
And I never understood how big that was until later on.
So until I watched
Legendary,
that show
right?
for Magic,
that Magic moment. Or no, that was Orlando.
No.
Shaq and
They just did the show right now for Magic.
Magic and Bird?
The Showtime.
The Showtime.
I
The
finally
Showtime
realized
Lakers,
why the form was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like in LA,
Had the club in it, everything. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But how it got to be,
Right.
after I saw that show, I was like, that's why it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And I
Form
mean,
was
yes,
huge.
the clubs,
Yeah.
like it was the place to be. So with you saying Magic was one of that's why above like a Kobe Bryant and all that, I looked up to like a Magic was like that guy for me, right?
Oh, for me too. Still to this day.
Yeah, even when Jordan was out, like I still liked Magic. Just watching him play, and it was just so smooth. To me, it was like a mix of a Tim Duncan sometimes, where it's like it was just too easy.
Right.
Him getting to the rim and just throwing that little pass, and it was just like,
You made the game
how
so easy.
did he do that?
You made the game so
And
easy.
Like you don't think there's a way out. He's out.
Right.
It makes it so magical because Edgar, he loves football, right? He's a football guy, but he also loves basketball. He loves it so much, that's where he started going ball to emulate a basketball. So that's actually
He's been
why.
waiting. Do you
That's
see this?
why-
He held on to that one. Like he held it.
See how corny
He
that
held
was?
that. He
But
held on to
I'll
that
tell
one.
you the truth.
that
I'll tell you the truth though.
He's hurting. That's why.
He's upset right now because there's a whole group
that he
with
started.
his
That
wife,
he started.
his sister, and they're all clowning Julie.
Oh, they
No. You started this one, and you opened the group. It's not like somebody else did. That's what I'm very clear on that. And on top of that, he called me the other day, says something. I'm like, what? And hangs up. And then
I
his wife
said
sends
this.
my
I
wife
called
the
him.
video.
I was like,
He's
you know what?
dying. I didn't catch the joke.
I haven't seen Julian in a long time. Let me just hit him up.
Right.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Edgar? Like 8:30 p.m.
I'm like, what the fuck? I thought
Hey,
something was
your
wrong.
forehead-
To be clear,
I was like, your forehead's not big. It's ambitious. And I just hung up.
and I'm like, first off, I'm holding it in my broke hand. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? and then his wife sends my wife the video. I'm like, did they plan this shit? His wife videoed him. So this is how bored he is what I'm trying to say. So I'm happy to help him grow into this love
So
of life.
this is what I get to deal with. These guys are wild, man.
You got to stay on your toes because shots can get stopped.
Anytime,
Stop,
bro.
yeah.
And listen,
I'll get them all.
and he ain't like we talking about Mexican love over here, okay? It's different. It's different. It's
It is.
tough
Yeah,
love.
yeah,
There's no boundaries, okay?
Right.
It is.
But I have a question before you get to the point of wrapping up. You did all this amazing stuff. You've been around all these amazing people. You chose to come home for a reason.
Yes.
You chose to pour back into people for a reason. So what's that next peak? Like what's the vision of this academy? What's the vision of Joe Smith's brand going forward? And how long are we going to do this? And how many lives are you hoping to impact? What do you want to see come of all this?
Oh man, the sky's the limit, man. What we're trying to do, we're trying to grow something here in the Hampton Roads area, what we're calling sports tourism.
Okay.
And that's what we're working with the city of Virginia Beach right now on, and it's just bringing more notoriety, more eyes to the talent that we have here in the area.
Which is a lot.
So it's a lot,
A whole lot.
and people don't understand how much talent that not just come from this area, but is in this area right now that's coming up, and that's what we're trying to bring that. And eventually, we're doing more and more camps. We're doing more and more camps. Tommy and I, like what we talked about earlier, we're partnering together with his technology solutions company, and we have a lot of things in the making, man, that we're working on, and eventually we want to have our own building.
Okay.
You will.
Okay.
Here in the
Yeah,
Hampton Roads
that's the
area.
long-term goal.
Long-term goal, have our own building here in the Hampton Roads area.
Well, listen,
where
man,
the
if y'all
academy-
ever need a realtor to help you find these buildings,
I know where to
you
go.
know what I'm saying?
We know where to
I know
go.
where to go.
Yeah, we know where to go.
Shameless
Yeah.
plug. Shameless
Yeah,
plug.
no, we know where to go, but that's
But
the
I
long-term
love
goal.
the vision, man, and I'm excited to bring my son. Carson
We
Parks,
appreciate it. No,
because
we appreciate
because here's
it.
the thing: is you gave your mother quite the testimony out there.
Yes,
in training earlier, right? So one could argue you got where you got large in part due to her, right? So I am excited to give my son an opportunity that nobody ever gave me, right? Like, I never had a chance to go to a 4-day basketball camp with somebody that played in the league, like for $99. Is that like that? You're like, what? My shoes cost more than that.
Right.
I mean, really.
Exactly, right.
So I just think it's great. I'm excited. I know my son's excited.
Appreciate it.
And, you know, I'm going to tell the people the truth afterwards. So,
no
you know,
question.
if it's fire,
I
I'm
would
going to sing
love
it to
that.
the rooftop, and I'll send my boy back, you know.
Okay.
We appreciate it. No.
and
And we
with
want
that-
the we want the feedback. We
Yes,
welcome it
exactly.
and we
Yeah,
want the
absolutely.
feedback.
Love it.
Yeah.
But
we
it's
do.
just, you know, it's different than like my experience as a child where I would go to the rec or to high school or, you know, I switched schools a lot. I didn't have either one of my parents. So that opportunity was never really there for consistency or guidance or like, you know what I mean? Like, so for you to bring that here and give people that opportunity, you know, you're not just impacting children, you're impacting parents too.
Right.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
And that's something I always talk about, man. I always give my mom that credit, man, because the way I was raised, man, I'm the youngest of 7.
Oh, you got your ass beat a lot, huh?
Yeah, I'm that. So I had 6 parents. I had 6 parents.
youngest of
6 other
7 is
parents,
crazy.
Other than my mother. So,
Still.
Yeah, still to this day.
Still to
but
this
I mean,
day.
it
Still
was-
giving it to you.
But she always taught me about just respect, man, and treat everyone the way you would like to be treated, man. And that's just how I was born.
Pretty simple, right? Yeah.
And that's how I do it, man. That's how I go through my daily
Life.
life. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I treat everybody with respect, man. I show everybody love, you know what I'm saying, until they show me something different. So
Right.
that's just the way I was brought up.
And you're coming, you know, now you're back here and you've experienced a lot of peaks. You've achieved a lot of things in your life, a lot of goals you've checked. A new goal is bringing the brand of the Joe Smith Academy back to the area.
Yes.
I can already call that a win personally because one, showing up's half the battle.
Yeah.
Right? We know that for everything. And you showed up back to the community. It's not like you never left. You were working, right?
Right, exactly.
Now you're back here because you understand that we have the community that needs this. You've served this to other communities that were thankful for it, but
Yes.
ain't no place like home.
Like home.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that you're home, you're back here, you're serving the community by providing this service basically
Right.
that everybody can afford. I know we don't like to talk about money, but the value you're getting for this is bar none. Like literally is bar none.
Exactly.
And the cool thing is that you're going to be consistent on this.
Yeah,
and the cool
exactly.
thing is that you're not by yourself. You got Tommy. You got a
Exactly.
squad behind you. You got shout out to Councilman Green.
Yeah.
He's
Yes,
backing
yeah.
you too as well. You have
Yeah,
other
appreciate
individuals like myself sitting on a resort advisory commission with the city.
Yes.
We're backing because we talk about sports tourism
Yeah.
all the time.
Appreciate
So
that.
more
Yeah.
so it's
Appreciate that.
we have not just Norfolk. You have
Yeah.
not just the beach. In theory, how can we get all of Hampton Roads? And I think that's going to
That's
be
the
the next
key.
peak for you.
Yep.
Is how we can accomplish all the 7 cities just to pay attention to this. Right?
That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere.
Gotta start.
And we're starting July 7th.
Yes.
You see what
Got
I'm
to
saying?
start. John Sally, we joke about this. We saw John Sally last year.
Wait, John Sally.
The John
The John
Sally.
Sally, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
John Sally at Fanatic. First time meeting the guy.
Okay.
We talking about the Pistons.
John
Yeah.
Sally.
John, Pistons
Just to
John
be clear.
Sally. Yeah.
Okay.
Lakers John Sally, same John Sally. I never
we
met
ran
this
into
guy a
him
day of my
last
life. We saw him last year at Fanatics Fest at the 40/40 Club. So we're sitting there. He comes over to Joe. They're talking. I'm sitting at the table, just sitting there, letting them do their thing.
Yep.
And I guess Joe kind of points at me and introduces who I am. And I walk over, and he kind of looks at me, and I walk over to him, and I stick out my hand to introduce. He doesn't grab it. He said, "I'll give you 3 things." Now, mind you, he's 6'10", 6'11", okay? And he's talking over the music. So he's yelling at me. He said, 3 things. Don't f it up. Keep showing up. And if you need help, call.
This is John saying this
This
to
is
you.
John Salad saying this to me when Joe said, "That's my business partner." Before he took my hand and shook my hand, he screamed those 3 things to me. Then said, "Nice to meet you."
Awesome.
And those 3 things stick with me every day. I tell people all the time, best advice I ever got in my life.
That's dope.
Best
Yeah.
advice I ever got in my life. Cause it was shock and awe. Yeah. It was shock and awe, but it keeps me motivated every day. If nothing else was the number 2.
Right.
Keep showing up.
Right.
He says it. You got to keep showing up. And like I said, some days and it's hard.
Yeah.
But we keep showing up. We keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And that's the pieces that keep us motivated. So I take that advice to heart. Yeah. I work every day to not to mess it up. But if nothing else, I we work really, really, really hard at making sure we show up as many times as we can, when we can, and where we can. Again, being that change we want to see. So for us, keeping the camp at $99, making all of his training, his personal training, $75 an hour, making our team training. So he works out with it can be Salem High School's basketball team or your rec team. We do full 15 member teams for $350 an hour. So, all of these little pieces is to give back, constant conversations looking for sponsors, all of this stuff to keep the funds under $99. So it's constant work, but we know it's good work and it's purposeful work. And we know, hearing feedback. I had a parent send me a message on Facebook the other day just thanking us for making the camp $99. Right. And she sent me all kinds of flyers from other camps that were 500 and something.
Not $99.
Yeah, right. Sent me a whole bunch. She sent me a whole, look at all of this. And had no clue who this young lady was. But thank you so much. We appreciate it. It lets us know that we're doing good work.
You're making impact.
Yeah, that lets us know we're doing good work. Yeah. So those things like that are the things that keeps us going when days get hard, when we have a week of no's and we're waiting for that one yes, things like that as well. And then also too, just looking at what we're working on, not trying to be evasive, but we have a few projects, working right now that are going to be pretty fruitful this fall and the beginning of the year. So we are super excited. He's super excited. So that means my job is done. That means my job is done. I tell him all the time, "You good? I'm good." That's it. Before we get off the phone, I say, kind of give him an update. You good? Cool. You good? I'm good. Hang on the phone. So that's kind of what I go off of. So for us and for what we're doing, it's really just about just pushing them pebbles forward, getting that boulder up the hill. As long as we just every day we push something forward, I think to your point, it's a win.
One of the cool things that I'm excited about, and then this is home base for me, Virginia Beach.
Right.
First Colonial.
Yeah.
I went to school with Aaron Rouse. I went to school with Chris Taylor, a bunch of people down there. So those are my guys. But what I'm really excited, I live in District 7. Councilman Green's District 7,
yes, sir.
Right? The sports arena, let's call it the sportsplex that's opening there next to Regent University.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It kind of completes like a trifecta of what for Virginia Beach specifically, because we had the field house near Lansdowne forever, right? Now we got the joint at the oceanfront, the sports center, sportsplex there. Now we have one literally the back end of Virginia Beach, right by our house, right? So, but it just broke ground, right? So we got a minute for that to get built. But now we're gonna have a trifecta of not just for local, but attracting the D1 talent that's come here from other countries for the actual competitions to drive more revenue for the city, to drive more awareness for the city. That's what we want to do. It's a full circle when it comes down to stuff like that, right?
So that's why we're out and about at the Fanatics Fest of the world, at these other places to start having those conversations, have those interviews, reconnect with those athletes and tell them, what we're doing in Virginia Beach or in Hampton Roads. Tell them what Hampton Roads has going on. Tell them how we're connected with that and how we can bridge and how we can really just start building those bridges. So again, we talk, about a lot of projects and things that we have that we're working on, but a lot of that foundation is really just that networking foundation. A lot of that goes with that is, taking those meetings, getting on that plane, taking that train, doing it just to have those conversations with folks, doing that podcast, doing that interview, just to let everybody know we're back. This is what we're doing. This is where we're doing it.
And the dope part is that everyone has different ways they can provide equity. A lot of the times people put liquid equity as number one, but you have celebrity equity. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that we have that in our back pocket, that you can come here and do that you did from a national, worldwide scale, and you're in our backyard now. That you can't put a price tag on that because it's just a lot of freaking work that got put down. Now you get to at least walk around the city and help push whatever project you want to be associated with. Right.
So,
and that's the big not many of those individuals are doing that. Like I love Mike came back and now he's coaching at. He's a Spartan. He's the head coach of North. That's dope. Mike Vick came back here and did that, right? But it's full circle a lot with musicians too. Like I'm a DJ. I've seen a lot of the people come back, like Pharrell pushing the surf part, like Pusha T's here, but he's still not here. You know what I'm saying? Gene from Malice from the Clips lives right around the corner from my house, but they got a concert at the Dome on August 10th. So it's like we have all this local talent in all these different industries that can help push the city in a certain way.
Oh, imagine them all in one place, bro.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's not necessarily ego. It's more of how can we align everyone's schedule.
That's really
the hardest
like
thing.
Gene, Timberland, all of us went to Salem together.
Right.
All of us we all like Gene and I. That's how I got to summer school every day. Was Gene picking me up every day?
You see what I'm saying? It's just a small world. It's a small Hampton Roads.
Right. Tim, we talk about DJing, and he'll probably be like, don't say this, but yeah, like my, learning how to DJ, that was Tim when he lived in Bridal Creek, hanging out in his house, teaching me how to do it. He
on
DJed,
2 techniques.
Yeah, on two. Yeah, he DJ'd my 18th birthday party when I was in high school. So like, how many people can say that?
None.
So like, yeah, we have a connection.
Right, like you.
Yeah, so that connection goes back since high school with those guys.
And like Chad's here too, from Neptune.
Yeah, from Neptune.
He's local
Chad's here too. Yeah,
he's chilling, like right down the street.
Right down the
you know
street.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll come up and do pop-up events just to do it. So we have all these, and I call them OGs because we went through that, we made it, we're everywhere, and now we're back home. And that happens not just here, that happens a lot of places in the country.
Everywhere.
Everyone usually comes back home, but the dope spot is that back then everyone was just getting put on and they were going out. Now they're all coming back. Missy's back-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just got I DJ'd her event when she got the Missy Elliott Avenue named. Like, I'm like, this is dope. But it's like, they're all coming back here now. So now I'm excited to see what the impact of the celebrity that we created in the area now coming back. That's the cool part. So when I see you, when I see all these other people coming back, I'm like, there's a movement about to happen because everybody here made a name for themselves in their own right. Timberland and Pharrell had 3 of the top 5 songs for 6 years in a row in the 2000s on the Billboard. Consistently. And it was producing for many different people. That's just in the music world. That's me being a nerd in music now. I'm just like, with basketball, it's the same thing. Every year somebody came out, they made it to a certain level, but they made it.
Right.
Like, who gives a shit what level it was in? They made it.
They made it.
You see them? And then they came back and they're doing something.
Yeah.
So the dope thing, I love that you guys are back here. I love that you're here.
Man,
I love that you shared those stories, by the way. That's actually really, really dope. But I'm stoked to see where this camp takes the area. More importantly, the Joe Smith brand, what is going to bring back to the area. Because you're already doing great things. The goal for us is just to try to make sure we can let more people know about it, bro. Because you're here. You ain't going nowhere. You stand.
Yeah, we stand.
Yeah, we here. We here. We plant together.
Like you said, it's just all about trying to bring all of us, as many of us together as we can. And that's only going to make Hampton Roads grow around the world.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And we, like you said, we all come from here and we all go different places, but you still don't hear Norfolk or Portsmouth or Hampton Roads being brought up a lot of places.
Where's that? What is that?
Exactly.
Like, I'm tired of that.
You might hear Virginia Beach because Virginia Beach,
right.
But when you talk about other cities in the Hampton Roads area, you get that question mark, that question mark look on their face. So it's just all about bringing that attention to our area, man. Let the people know, let the world know what type of talent we got here and what type of moves we make here.
So, before we wrap up, what is we have the camps coming up. Run them down one more time, the website, the Instagram, the whole 9 yards, just so we can make sure that everybody knows where to go to get these tickets to the camps coming up. And more importantly, to follow you guys because you have a lot of projects moving.
Yeah. You can, for the camp, JoeSmithBasketballAcademy.com is the website. Click on the events tab. All of our events that we have up and coming are right there. Go ahead and register right there. You have so there'll be the 7th through the 11th of July, ages 8 to 12, $99 for the entire week. July 21st through 25th, ages 13 through 18, again, only $99. And we're looking so you'll get lunch as well. So you don't have to, you can bring a snack, but you'll get lunch. So as well, included in the $99. And you're getting trained by Joe Smith each day. That's what we have coming up for at the Sports Center in Virginia Beach, right next door to the Pavilion. You can find me, Tommy Davidson, on Instagram at Tommy Davidson 10, and you can find Joe at Joe Smith Basketball on Instagram. So please hit us up, send me a message if you got any questions about the camp. You can enter a question on the website, or you can hit us up on Instagram directly. 9 times out of 10, you'll hit me. So, I look forward to the interaction.
You shifted to him?
Yeah. As you said, as she says that. So, that's why I always put it. You'll get me. So, yeah.
So for those of us that have already enrolled our children, like my son, he's going to come. So the first day I saw is 30 minutes prior for registration, right? 9:30.
Yes, sir.
And then you said they're going to get lunch as well included in this $99.
Yes,
so,
sir. You're getting
so literally, it's grab the basketball bag and a water bottle and go spend the day.
Yeah, just come spend the day.
Yeah,
Come,
I love it.
I'll take care of you. We have a good time.
Are the parents allowed to spectate?
Yes.
I'm sorry we did not bring that up.
Forgot this, yep.
Oh my God! Yes,
That's what I'm here for.
yes. Thank you. This is we do not kick
keep
parents out.
So if they wanted to stay and watch, they
want to
could.
stay all
If they
day.
want to drop them, it's cool. Just be there before the end of the session.
Exactly.
Yep. That's
Okay.
it. Yep.
Awesome.
We have. Yep. You'll come in this week. You'll everyone who signs up. You'll get the waiver emailed out to you guys. But we also have them when you get there as well.
On-site. Okay.
On site as well. We'll tell everybody. A lot of times the emergency contact is on site. Because they're usually sitting right there, so it actually helps. So, but no, we do not kick parents out. We welcome parents. We want them to come and see what we're doing.
I love it. Afterwards.
Talk to them,
feedback,
right?
Awesome.
You understand,
Awesome.
That's
one heck of a product for $99, man.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we want to
Seriously.
connect with them. We want to talk with them, if nothing else, too, because even though we grew up here, we're still new back into the community as well. We haven't gotten away from that. So talking to the parents, building that relationship, understanding what they're looking for from us, as well. They're paying their $99. We do not take that lightly. So hey, what do you want to get out of this?
Yep.
Two, it's not just what we want to give to you, it's what do you want to get out of this? And not only that, what do you want your child to get out of it? And if it's, and a lot of times from what we hear, it's really just having fun.
Yeah.
A lot of the times the
confidence.
and confidence. They don't have that confidence. They don't feel comfortable playing in other spaces. So a lot of times it's really just building their confidence and having a good time. And we've had some reluctant, kind of come into the camp kicking and screaming. We've had those. Parents made them come. We've had those. But by the time lunchtime usually hits, or by the time the camp is over, they're interacting with the other children. Yeah. They're coming up, they're chasing this guy around, asking questions and stuff like that. So you really see a change. And for us, that's the main thing we talk about when camp is over.
Yeah.
Did you see how so-and-so, changed? Did you see so-and-so become more interactive? Did you see so-and-so do this now? And that's the conversation for all of us, the admins, the coaches, myself. Yeah. That's what we sit around and talk about, after camp is over, is really, the night and day aspect of when, when the children started as opposed to when they leave. No, please, knock yourself out.
Before we leave here, I want you to think about the impact you've made on somebody before they even show up.
Right.
Check this out. My 12-year-old son, I've been trying to get him to go to a camp, right? Mm-hmm. And there's one local that a lot of kids go to, and I was trying to get him to go to it, and he was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to, and this and that. And I sent him the flyer this morning. I said, hey, son, do you want to go to this? Because I had asked him before, because Councilman Green put me on to the fact that you were coming.
Okay.
So I sent him the flyer, and then like 10 minutes later, he's like, actually, I want to go. And I was like, I already knew in my head that he went and checked out clips and whatnot. Right. So I was like, go check out like his highlight video on YouTube or something. He's like, Dad, I did. But hear me, is the fact that you already instilled confidence in him to show up because you lived the life that you're selling.
Right.
That's the difference.
Appreciate it.
He saw, oh, wait, this guy played with all these people. Oh, he played on all these teams. He played with my favorite player. He played on my favorite squad. That in and of itself gave him the confidence to say, sign me up, Dad. Right. Think about that. Yeah, what you've already done is bringing those people in the door. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. And to see that impact on my son within 2 text messages versus trying to fight tooth and nail and bring him to a place that he doesn't want to be at. Right. Now he gets to show up like, my dad met an NBA guy because Julian brought him to the office, and now I'm going to go train with him. So he's excited. It's already building the confidence. It's already making him want to come play, because I tell my son before every game, any practice, play hard, have fun.
No question.
That's it. That's
it.
all
Yeah.
I say. I'm not a guy that sits on the sidelines and screams and yells.
Rah. Yep.
But he know what it is because I'm very serious. I'm not going to spend my money if you're going to go waste it.
Right.
And if you tell me you want to do this, you got to learn from people that did it.
Right.
So I just wanted you both to think about that as far as like the impact's already happening, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's
It's already
something I never
happening.
thought about.
Yeah, no,
Right?
thank you.
Never
So-
thought
Appreciate
about
it.
I thought it was cool
Appreciate
this morning where he was like, "Yeah, I'll go." I was like, all I had to do was tell him to check out some
That's it.
highlights.
Go on YouTube.
But
Check it
think
out.
about it. What other camp did I have where he could go check out highlights?
Right.
At least the highlights he wants to see. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they got
Yeah.
highlights in the park and stuff, and that's cool, but like
Yeah.
that's the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
You
the
can't get any
first thing
higher.
he said to me was like, "You know, he played with LeBron." I was like, "Yes, I know that," because he knows I'm a LeBron fan. You know what I mean?
Ohio.
Like,
Right.
But I'm also still MJ, man. Like, you know, you like it.
That's a whole nother
That's
podcast.
why I said,
That's a whole nother
yeah.
podcast.
That's why I
That's a
said
whole
we're not
nother
gonna bring up any
conversation.
goat
Right,
stuff.
right.
You know, I think I got like 5 goats. You know, which is
Joe,
okay.
Seriously, we appreciate you coming in today, man.
Man, I
Seriously.
appreciate you guys
And,
having me.
thanks,
and,
man.
Tommy, thank you. We
No,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Seriously.
Appreciate
and
it.
again, a shout out to Councilman Green. He
Big
coordinates
Big shout
a lot
out,
of this,
Councilman
you know what I'm
Green.
saying?
Yeah,
Happy
absolutely.
birthday, Councilman Green.
There you go.
Yeah, happy
Birthday,
birthday, big
Councilman.
homie.
It's not-
Yes.
You know,
There it
he
is.
just had me at you hooked me up and he brought me to Regent University for the rollout of their sportsplex.
Yep.
That's where I got to meet Tim Tebow
Right,
and he was
yeah.
speaking.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And
Tim
they're
was there.
Yeah, crazy, man. So I got to meet him. Now I'm here with you. But like, but you said something earlier about when it would be done. They're actually gonna they're talking like next fall.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Like I was very, I was like, wow, that's
Yeah, the
quick.
legend
So
cleared. Like,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, we,
So-
we drive by it like every day almost because
Yeah,
it's
I
right
had
by
a
our
chance
house.
to go over there, get a speak to the administration, get a little private little walkthrough around
Awesome.
here, man. So yeah, it's,
well, I look
to your
forward
point,
to being wherever
things
y'all
coming.
are, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
we
All day.
appreciate you.
Seriously.
Yeah.
we appreciate you.
And we'll
guys
do
for
this
having
more.
us
The more
on.
you're rolling stuff out, the more we want to make sure because we're local. You know, our goal is just to give back to the community just like you are, bro. So
Awesome.
Yeah, my
That's
son,
awesome,
man.
my
Thank
son
you.
just want to hoop, man.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
nah,
it's
we
cool
can do
that
that.
you're
Yeah.
bringing that here. You know,
All right, we signing out, everybody. We got Joe Smith, Mr. Tommy Davidson, Mr. Broker from the bottom, Mr. Mike Little, this guy over here, Edgar the Sphere Munoz, and DJ Julian Rivera. Make sure you subscribe, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, subscribe. Put the notifications on, too, because you just never know who's going to walk in the room. Remember
Thanks.
I say, get in the room is important. Today, you got in the room, you got a lot of nuggets, but more importantly, you understand what's coming up next in your community. DJ Julian Rivera signing out, Your Peak Life Podcast.